I'll reconvene this meeting. So we'll start with our land acknowledgement. We recognize that the Mount Diablo Unified School District sits on the territory of the Confederated Villages of the Lishan, the ancestral and unceded land of the Bay Miwok and Northern Yokut, the successors of the sovereign Verona Band of Contra Costa County. As members of the MDUSD community, it is vitally important that we not only recognize the history on the land on which we learn, but also we recognize that the land we inhabit and learn on is the ancestral land of these people who are alive and flourishing members of MDUSD and broader Bay Area communities today. You may stand for the pledge. Okay. So we move to 6.3, review and potential approval of minutes for a regular board meeting held April 24th.
Madam President, I move the board approve the minutes held for the meeting held April 24th, 2024.
I'll second that.
It's a motion from Trustee Mayo and a second from Trustee Mason. Trustee Barrios, how do you vote?
Yes.
That motion passes 5-0 with concurrence from our student board member. So we move on to review and potential approval of the agenda. Dr. Clark?
Yes, Madam President, we would like to pull item 10.5, please.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda with that one change?
I make a motion we approve the agenda with the correction made.
Second.
Thank you. That's a motion from Trustee Mason and a second from Trustee Mayo. Trustee Barrios, how do you vote?
Yes.
That motion passes 5-0 with concurrence from our student board member. So we move on to the report out of action taken in closed session. So 7.1, negotiations. The board may discuss negotiations or provide direction to its representatives regarding represented employees pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6. We received information. 7.2, discipline, dismissal, release, or reassignment of public employee, Government Code Section 54957B. The board received information. For 7.3, expulsion of student 8-24 from regular schools in the Mount Diablo Unified School District.
Madam Chairman, I move the board approve the expulsion of student 08-24 with school placement to be determined by Student Services. Prior to readmission, student 08-24 is required to meet the following conditions. The student must participate in 20 hours of counseling to address anger management, conflict resolution, and substance abuse. The student must show evidence of a successful school experience with no suspendable infractions, earn 30 credits, maintain a 2.0 GPA or better, and have a 90% attendance rate. The student must remain away from all MDUSD campuses and school activities, along with no violation of school rules and education codes 48900 and 48915 or district rules and regulations.
Second.
All right, motion from Trustee Mayo, second from Trustee Nzewi. That motion passes 5-0. So for 7.4, the board met in closed session and by a vote of 5-0, voted to reject a liability claim for damages pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.95 by claimant Lesia Petiti against the Mount Diablo Unified School District. So with that, we move to public comment. So at this point, the board may address the board regarding any item not on the agenda. Public comment will also be allowed on each specific agenda item prior to board action thereon. And we typically allow about 3 minutes per public comment, and sometimes we can't, kind of depending on the number of public comments, but looks like we can do the full 3 minutes for everyone tonight. So we'll start with Lomo Love.
Dear Dr. Adam Clark and board, my goal last time was to sharpen your focus on school bus safety. I am a school bus driver, or I was until March 8th. Then you chose to throw me under the school bus for blowing the whistle. They say don't slay the messenger, but you chose to unlawfully release me without cause. Quote, you put the foxes in charge of the hen house and you let them investigate themselves. This tone deafness to school bus safety is mortifying to me. I want an apology. I want my job back. I want my hard-earned training certificates for the training time I put in. I want credit for bringing transparency to your safety-sick district. I want Mount Diablo Unified to become the nationwide beacon and voice for school bus safety. MD USD must be where school bus safety comes first. Thanks for the opportunity. I truly appreciate it. Linda Mayo. I was Mary Lou Lecky's fiance. I knew you when you first started. All these drivers here, I love them. And I love you. Thank you.
Great. Thank you for your comment. Elaine Baker.
Good evening, President McFerrin, trustees, and Dr. Clark. My name is Elaine Baker, and I am from Mount Diablo Elementary. I'm here tonight to convey my concerns and frustration over the proposed modernization of Mount Diablo Elementary. Beginning on a positive note, I would like to thank you for recognizing that many of our school sites are 60 to 70 years old, built when the greater Diablo Valley was blossoming as a suburb. My parents, who opened Loma Vista and later El Dorado as middle school teachers, talked about how these new neighborhoods being built in the 50s and 60s, along with the school sites to serve these young families. These sites are all aged and in need of renovation: windows, plumbing, wiring, flooring. We truly appreciate that you recognize the importance of these updates. On the other hand, this push for modernization has not simply been to modernize the aged infrastructure on campus. When Melanie Koslow and the architect first showed up to show us the plan for the structural changes in a remote meeting, they discussed replacement of cabinets, installation of modern commercial LVP flooring, and new plumbing to many of our problematic wings of rooms. They alluded to new furniture, but avoided further discussion, stating that we would have some choice. Fast forward to the end of March, where Melanie Koslow, Margie Kalbeck, and the classroom design firm Meteor Education came to tell us that they had purchased furniture and that we would have no chance to change the way, we would have to change the way we teach because students learn best from each other and not from a teacher. These desks would all be able to roll on casters. The teacher's desk would be the size of a music stand, and all built-in cabinets seem to have disappeared from the design entirely. The proposed student desks have plastic drawers that will surely break within the first month of school. That's what we're being asked to put items in. This will hold next to nothing. The students are not even being offered the same seating options, a mix of standard chairs and a wobble stool. If you ever spent a few hours on a wobble stool, this is a wobble stool right here. There's no support on the back whatsoever. And if you want to try teaching an entire class wobbling around, you'll be seasick in minutes. Here's the stack of materials that we have over here that you adopted and that each student must have. The storage concept appears to be a tall rolling locker with plastic bins and drawers. This implies that all students will have to get up and down multiple times a day to access board adopted curriculum. I currently have large storage shoe boxes in the back of my room to contain the additional supplies that won't fit in a desk. I timed it today. The students, when they went to access their headphones for CASP testing, took 5 minutes for the whole class to pick up their boxes and another 5 minutes just to put them away. That's 10 minutes of wasted instructional times just for one transition. I have extensive personal classroom library filled with over 700 books to complement our accelerated reader program. I was told that I cannot provide my own bookcases to house these books because it doesn't fit into the design aesthetic. Everything has to be on wheels. I'm a good teacher. This is my 28th year of teaching. I'm a third-generation teacher in this district, as well as a product of this district. I spent my early formative years learning how to teach and manage a classroom watching both of my parents. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Adriana Gonzalez.
Hello, guys. I work for Rio Vista Elementary, and I'm also a parent for a student at Rio Vista at Riverview Middle School. I have a few concerns. My concerns are that where the kids are doing PE, they're forced to work out in an area that is completely sealed off to them. There is one exit only. If there was a fire, our kids will die in that fire because there's no other exit. I was told that there's no teacher right now because they fired the teacher that notified all the parents about the situation. I don't understand why it is that they're still working out up there if there's no exit for our kids. If there was anything to happen, and God forbid it, there's still no exit. So why have them continue to work out upstairs if that's the only exit that they have? The other concern is if students have red flags on their accounts and their emergency cards, why are they being allowed to leave with parents that are flagged on the system, having court documents and everything at Riverview? I don't understand why that's continuing to happen. I've reached out to multiple people and never got any responses about that. And it was my own child that was being released. So it's very concerning. Thank you for your time.
Will staff be following up on? Okay, thank you. Heather Picatelli.
Good evening, board members, Dr. Clark and student board member. I'm also a parent for Riverview Middle School. And
can you make sure you speak into the microphone because otherwise the people watching can't hear you?
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm also a parent from Riverview Middle School, and I'm also concerned about that safety. There was also an iron chain and a lock, which most people know that's a fire hazard. If that one exit, if there was a fire, the other exit that could be accessed was chained. The gaslighting and the amount of just brushing off the concerns of parents who've called, emailed is uncalled for. It's unacceptable. We trust you guys to keep our children safe. If, letting Mr. Rollins go is a huge disservice to these kids. He cared about them. The amount of support, it may not be shown here, but the amount of support with kids that he has speaks for itself. If we're going to focus on issues like that, like, well, he shouldn't have emailed parents, they're still cockroaches. Wasteful money being spent on a golf cart for a campus that isn't big enough. The classrooms are completely disgusting. The lack of permanent teachers, there's so many more important issues than firing a teacher who genuinely was just concerned and wanted to alert parents. So we hope that you guys do reconsider. Someone can, because he was and is a great asset to Riverview. Thank you.
Thank you. Please correct me if I'm wrong on this name. Amy Langle or Langley?
For receiving me, we have a handout. My son Shane is a 17-year-old with significant developmental disabilities. My son Shane is a 17-year-old with significant developmental disabilities and autism and has been a student in this district since kindergarten. Shane was verbally and physically abused at College Park High School during the 2022-2023 school year. Shane's civil rights were violated as the district failed to provide a free and appropriate education in the least restrictive environment. Certain staff members repeatedly complained to the teacher and the principal. Nothing was done to help the students, and the board will see from the documentation provided that was authored by a classroom staff that Shane was not singled out, but he was the recipient of the brunt of the abuse. Other parents did not attend this evening because they are concerned about retaliation against their children by district staff. Shane is nonverbal and requires around-the-clock care in all functions of his daily life, including toileting, hygiene, eating, and his safety. Shane could not tell his loved ones what was going on at school. In September 22, Shane was verbally threatened and physically accosted by a district instructional assistant. She dragged Shane out of class and verbally threatened him with, "If you do that again, you will be sorry." Another staff observed this interaction and contacted Child Services. Pleasant Hill Police investigated case 223131. The officer was promised by the teacher that training would be administered, but it was not. Surprisingly, I never heard about this. Neither did the rest of Shane's family. I learned about it via word of mouth after the school year ended in June, 8 months later. On May 12th of last school year, Shane had a bad fall on campus, and coincidentally, the incident report was written by the same district staff member that I just mentioned. The injuries from Shane's fall were inconsistent with a typical fall, as the cuts were on his forearms near his elbows, appearing as though he was holding his arms defensively when he fell. The teacher called me, stating that the campus supervisor was helping Shane and tending to his wounds. I later learned that when she arrived at the scene, the district staff and Shane's one-on-one, a contracted employee, were standing near Shane chatting while he lay hurt and bleeding on the ground. Why were these staff not helping Shane but talking amongst themselves? They're hired to support and protect our most vulnerable students. Learning of the Pleasant Hill visit, the police visit, and reflecting on Shane's fall, I requested video footage from the principal, but none was available as a 2-week time period had passed. Some of the documented incidents include that Shane was repeatedly strapped and left in his special needs strollers for hours at a time. Some staff coined the phrase Shane Brain as a means to humiliate him and spew insults at other students in the class. The teacher was overheard threatening Shane, "I will hit you with your shoe if you kick it off again." Students were deprived of water, so they would have to be toileted less. Shane ran into the street alone and unsupervised, as well as grabbed a sharp knife that was repeatedly left out. He was ostracized and excluded from community-based education. He was ignored, neglected, yelled at, humiliated, called insulting names, and I believe he was shoved by that person. The teacher and district staff mentioned are still working with children with extensive needs who are nonverbal and are our most vulnerable student population in the district. What will be done to protect these students? My last comment, thank you for receiving me. On July 20th, last school year, there was a video released by NBC Bay Area News that 2 administrators at College Park High School, one recently promoted, were making fun of children in special education. What needs to happen for the leadership to intervene and not tolerate abuse in our schools? What is the district going to do? And when will my son receive an apology? Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Emma Collier.
Hello, my name is Emma Collier and I'm a current 12th grader at Northgate High School. Part of being a senior at my school entails a semester-long assignment called the Senior Project. The goal of this assignment is to pick a topic that we're passionate about, write a research essay on it, and serve the community in a way that relates to our topic. Something I'm passionate about is education. My whole life, I've grown up around teachers. My mom's a teacher in the district, and my extended family is something in the education field, whether it be in an admin position, a teacher position, or part of the district. And because of this, I feel really strongly connected to the California education system. The question I'm attempting to answer with my project is, how do different demographics affect students' educational opportunities? I've learned in my research that historically, students located in lower income areas have reported lower test scores than students located in higher income areas. According to the Brookings Institution, which is a nonprofit organization based in Washington, D.C., Black Americans on average score 75% lower than their white American classmates on standardized testing. As a result of this, their funding is decreased. Underperforming schools can lose some federal education funding. When talking with the principal of Tolinas Academy of Music and Media in Solano County, which is a school that qualifies for Title I funding, she explained that a lot of the time students were unable to afford the bus to get to school, or their parents had to go to work and were unable to take them. And so now they're missing out on the information they may need for the standardized tests that they will be taking. This statistically sets them up to do worse and decrease their funding. Now, I recognize that this money is distributed from the state and not necessarily the district. However, what I'm proposing is implementing tutoring services inside of school that are specifically designed around the skills that are demonstrated by the CASP test or any other standardized test that we take. These services would take place during school hours, just like any other academic class. And it would be intentionally designed to help kids in lower income communities, although it would help kids of all communities. These tutoring services would help bridge the gap between lower income students and higher income students that tend to get higher scores and more funding from these tests. In fact, this is already being started in schools around the state. In the San Bernardino Valley College shows that students scored 12% better when they were face-to-face with tutoring that was designed for them and their testing. It's very cost effective and it provides the students with better outcomes all around. Just like the people in my life, I want to become a teacher when I grow up. I plan to attend Cal State Fullerton in the fall with a major in elementary education and a minor in American Sign Language. I want to take this time to thank the board for the education that I've received in my K-12 career in USD. And by the time that I enter the classroom, I hope that education is equal in all aspects for all students. Thank you.
Great. Thank you and best of luck. All right. Okay, so do we move on? Do we have communications? Okay, great. Okay. So 9.1, at regular board meetings, a single spokesperson of each recognized district organization may make a brief presentation. Linda Ortega.
Good evening, President McFerrin, trustees, Dr. Clark, and members of the audience. My name is Linda Ortega, Medea Vice President and the newly elected President of Medea for the next term. I am here this evening to formally introduce myself to those who do not know me. I am a daughter of an immigrant. I am one of 6 children, the first in my family to attend college. A graduate of UC Berkeley, go Bears. I have my teaching credential from Cal State Hayward when it was still Cal State Hayward, and a master's degree from St. Mary's College. All of these accomplishments were due because I have had people in my life that have encouraged me to succeed when others did not believe I could. My desire to attend college started with my teachers and one very special guidance counselor, Mrs. Ochoa, who believed that anything is possible through education. I was one of those students that found school a safe place and loved to learn. I have shared with some of you that I wanted to be a pediatrician. I have always wanted to work with children. Instead, I found myself drawn to teaching. Long story short, I feel I have come full circle from my original plan. So here I am, years later, the president-elect of our teachers union. I want to remind everyone the reason why we are all here in this room, in this district, is to support and educate our students. In the center of our focus are our students, and to support those who work directly with our students, from the classroom teacher, librarian, music teacher, nurse, speech pathologist, and resource teachers, among others. There are so many who interact with our students each day that I want to let them know that you are valued and appreciated. And happy Teacher Appreciation Day. To the trustees and Dr. Clark, I just want to say that our members want to be part of the conversations when programs and decisions are being decided, as we heard from some of our teachers today. I'm willing to sit down with you to discuss how we can work together to make our schools better and to solve problems. Finally, I want to thank our Medea members for electing me as their next president, and to thank Anita Johnson, our retiring Medea president, for all her work on behalf of our membership. Thank you. All right, thank you, Linda. Okay, so we move to 10.0 recognitions and resolutions. Dr. Clark.
Thank you, Madam President. What I have before you is we are going to take a few minutes and we are going to recognize our classified employees of the year finalists. And so we have several of them that we would like to recognize. Once we call your name, we're going to ask you to just come up and say a few words. No big long speech or anything if you didn't prepare anything, but just to maybe recognize your friends and families who've come out to support you. So the first one who we have this evening under the category of clerical and administrative would be Sheila Burgum. Is Sheila here? There she is. Yeah. Hold on, Sheila. I got to embarrass you a little bit, so just stand right there. So Sheila Burgum is the college and career advisor for the district. She initiated MDUSD's Career Education Fair 7 years ago, which features trades and career options that don't necessarily require a 4-year college degree. Everything she does is with her whole heart, according to the counselors Rima and Becky, who nominated her. She is so passionate about college and career exploration, and her passion is contagious to all who interact with her. So, because she is continuously seeking educational opportunities to learn more about college applications, scholarships, internships, and summer opportunities, financial aid, and much, much more. MDUSD is so lucky to have Sheila Burgum spearheading this very important work. Ladies and gentlemen, Sheila Burgum.
Yeah, it is just wonderful praise from two really, really hardworking counselors. And I think it just speaks to the connection that we have working side by side, college and career advisors, counselors. You know, it's all to help students connect the dots and get them to the next thing that they want to do. So I'm quite honored. So thank you so much. Yeah.
All right, next we have under the category of custodial services, we have Sandra Solis. Sandra here. Let me embarrass you for a second, Sandra. Sandra Solis, who is the night custodian at Walnut Acres Elementary, was nominated by Principal Lauren Ashton. Sandra Solis was lauded for her exceptional attention to cleaning and repairing the campus facilities, her commitment to fostering positive relationships with staff, students, and families, and for spearheading initiatives to reduce environmental impact. Her proactive approach to problem solving and willingness to embrace new challenges make her an indispensable asset to our school, Ashton said in her nomination. Her contributions may often go unnoticed, but her impact on our school community is immeasurable. She is truly deserving of this recognition and our heartfelt gratitude. Ladies and gentlemen, Sandra Solis.
I just would like to say thank you to Walnut Acres Elementary, my staff, and especially my principal, Miss Lauren Ashland. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, our next category is food and nutrition services. Do we have Sandy Reeder? Where's Sandy? There she is. All right, Sandy Reeder, who is the lead food and nutrition services worker in the district central kitchen, was nominated by Food and Nutrition Services Director Alexandra Emmett. This year, Sandy has spearheaded a Harvest of the Month taste test in partnership with our after-school provider, CARES, to promote seasonal produce, Emmett said in her nomination. Sandy has made some incredible food as part of this program, such as freshly baked persimmon bread, butternut squash, mac and cheese, kale bites with marinara sauce, and much, much more. She goes above and beyond to make the taste test successful, setting up baskets with produce and samples and providing tablecloths for each school. Thanks to her creativity and dedication, students across the district are loving the new menu items. Ladies and gentlemen, Sandra Reeder.
Thank you. Thank you all very much. And I thank the food service upper staff and all of our co-workers and my staff. My central kitchen crew is wonderful. And for my daughter and son-in-law for coming tonight.
Yes, in my steps. All right, our next category is paraprofessional. And we have Mari Nist. Mari here. Did I pronounce that right? Okay, all right, let me embarrass you a little bit, all right?
Oh, you did good.
All right. Mari Nist has been a special education assistant at Pine Hollow for, can I name how many years?
Please.
30 years. Her unwavering dedication and passion for her work have left an indelible mark on countless lives, said special education assistant Sheila Ronke in her nomination. Many of her former students, now adults, have followed in her footsteps, inspired by her commitment to making a difference. Adding that throughout her career, NIST has demonstrated exceptional patience, empathy, and understanding, fostering an inclusive and nurturing environment where every child feels valued and supported. In addition, Mari Nist volunteers her time generously for various school activities, such as organizing field trips, chaperoning school dances, and assisting with homecoming and fundraising events. She is known for her reliability and willingness to contribute to the school community. Ladies and gentlemen, Mari Nist.
I'd just like to say thank you to all of the educators that I've been privileged to work with over the 30 years. Their knowledge is invaluable. And thank you to Sheila for nominating me.
All right. Our next category is security. Do we have Aramis Hegler here? Aramis? All right, there we go. Did I pronounce your name correctly?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me embarrass you a little bit, all right?
All right.
So we have Aramis Hegler, who is a security guard, was nominated by recently retired custodial and operations manager David Hart. His ability to remain calm under pressure allows him to handle tense situations and effectively communicate security protocols. His proactive approach and quick thinking have helped to prevent and mitigate potential risks, creating a safer and more secure environment for everyone. Hegler builds positive relationships with staff and the local community, and that his professionalism, integrity, and unwavering dedication has had a profound impact on the security and atmosphere of our school district. Ladies and gentlemen, Aramis Hegler.
Thanks for having me. Thank you for giving me this continued opportunity to serve the district here. I grew up here, so this is really my 37th year in the district. 11 paid, but you know, that wouldn't be possible without my family. I got my dad, my stepmom, my little sister out in the front there, right there, and I want to recognize somebody in the crowd here. Allie Kenny. I used to help her out when I was a little boy back in 1991. I was her student helper when she was a custodian at Fair Oak. So that's one of the reasons why I get up and come to work here every day. It's people like her that make me strive to be the best and do the best for our community and our young folks.
More left, folks. Category, skilled trades. We have Joselito Jojo Miguel. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you. Let me embarrass you a little bit, all right?
Sure.
All right. Joselito Jojo Miguel was described by maintenance manager Paul Lundholm as the hero of the district who swoops in when there are mechanical issues at any of our school sites and administrative offices. He added that Miguel exhibits a remarkable attention to detail and a proactive approach to problem solving, ensuring that our school buildings are safe, functional, and aesthetically pleasing for students and staff and visitors alike. Besides his technical skills and knowledge, Miguel has excellent interpersonal skills and a strong work ethic, along with his ability to communicate effectively with colleagues, administrators, and contractors, fostering a collaborative and positive working environment. His hard work, professionalism, and commitment to excellence make him an invaluable asset to our school district. He is truly the king of HVAC. Ladies and gentlemen, Joselito Jojo Miguel, thank you.
I don't know how true that is, but I'll take it. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, I'm sorry, I got two more people. All right, category, technical services. Alan Wright, do we have Alan Wright in the room? There we go. Yeah. Alan, I'm going to embarrass you a little bit, all right? Is that okay?
I'm already embarrassed.
Okay. Alan Wright was described by IT Director Robert Sidford as a brilliant network engineer and a highly skilled network manager who is an indispensable architect for our network. Sidford also praised Wright's people and problem-solving skills, saying that he can discuss and coordinate networking projects of the highest complexity, then explain those projects to laymen. This is an extraordinary rare skill. Wright's work on networking projects and the maintenance of our network is crucial to the district's success in providing a safe and reliable network. Ladies and gentlemen, Alan Wright.
Thank you. I mean, it's with my department, it's always a team. We have my colleagues over there who have dealt with me over several years and some of the fun we've had fixing parts of the network. And it's always a continual process because something always breaks. But as a department, myself, one of the people leading it along with a lot of other people, we're trying to keep it running. We're trying to keep it working. Stuff still breaks. But we'll fix it as soon as we can.
All right, this is a category of transportation. Do we have Liberato Atto Caparas? Liberato. Did I pronounce your name correctly, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me embarrass you a little bit, all right?
Okay, sure.
All right. So Atto, because that's hyphenated, is a school bus driver, was nominated by Transportation Director Chris Lepe, who described him as adored by many thanks to his easygoing demeanor and the respect he extends to everyone he encounters. He has harmonious relationships with school site staff and parents, which further demonstrate his ability to foster a supportive and inclusive community. With an unparalleled work ethic, Lepi said, he is present and willing to assist whenever and wherever needed by driving any bus in our fleet or taking on weekend field trips. He has dedicated over 2 decades of his life to ensuring the safety and well-being of our students and their families, and his unwavering commitment, reliability, and profound impact on our community qualify him for this award. Ladies and gentlemen, Liberato Atto Caparas.
First and foremost, I would like to thank Mount Diablo for this opportunity. I'm honored to be here, and thank you very much.
Have the board and have all of our folks come up and let's take a picture here. Chairman.
Thank you so much.
This is always in the way. Is it okay to move this? Yeah.
I'm gonna go talk to those parents in a moment. You want to handle the resolution? Sure. It'll be real quick.
Got it.
Maybe by the time she advances, it will be.
All right. Okay, so we will move to 10.2.
Solutions.
Oh. So this is review and potential approval of resolution 232465, classified school employees week.
Okay, fellow members of the board, resolution 23/24-65 in recognition of Classified Employees Week, May 19th through the 25th, 2024, which this is a good one for me to do since I used to be a classified employee of the district. Whereas classified school employees provide valuable services to the schools, students, teachers, administrators, and other staff of the Mount Diablo Unified School District, as well as to the general public. And whereas classified school employees contribute to the establishment and promotion of a positive instructional environment and enhance the educational process. And now, therefore, the governing board of Mount Diablo Unified School District hereby recognizes and wishes to honor the contribution of classified school employees to quality education in the state of California and in the Mount Diablo Unified School District, and declares the week of May 19th through the 25th of 2024 as Classified School Employees Week in the Mount Diablo Unified School District. It is now in the hands of the board.
Madam President, I move the board adopt the resolution 23/2465, Classified School Employee Week.
And I'll second that.
It's a motion from Trustee Mayo and a second from Trustee Mason. Trustee Barrios, how do you vote?
Of course, yes.
Enthusiastically. Thank you.
And congratulations and thank you to all of our classified employees, those recognized tonight and those throughout the district.
And that motion passes 5-0 with concurrence from our student board member. All right, so we move to 10.3, review and a potential approval of Resolution 2324-66, recognizing June as LGBTQ+ Pride Month.
Whereas June is a time to celebrate our dynamic LGBTQ+ community, raise awareness of quality services, and foster a dialogue to promote healthy, safe, and prosperous school climates and communities for all. And whereas all children and youth should be able to attend school in a safe and inclusive environment, free from discrimination, and civil rights laws contribute to such environments. And whereas education regarding LGBTQ+ issues increases in understandings and cultivates respect for LGBTQ+ children and youth. And now, therefore, be resolved that the Mount Diablo Unified School District recognizes the month of June 20th, 24 as LGBTQ+ Pride Month to inspire equity, create alliances, celebrate diversity, and establish a safe environment in our schools and communities. And that's where it stopped. It's now in the hands of the board.
I think that last line was just that the resolution be distributed to every school in the district. So sorry, you had a cut off copy of that. So I would like to move to adopt Resolution 2324, recognizing June as LGBTQ+ Pride Month. And I think this is particularly important in these times where so many of our students may feel unsafe or unaccepted, and then we need to make sure that everyone knows that these students are all welcome and included in every school in our district. And that's also why we fly the rainbow flag throughout the month of June.
Second.
It's a motion from Trustee Count and a second from, that was not, and a second from Trustee Nzewi. Trustee Barrios, how do you vote?
Yes.
That motion passes 5-0 with concurrence from our student board member. So we move to 10.4, review and potential approval of Resolution 2324-67 in recognition of School Nurses Day and National Nurses Week.
Okay, School Nurses Day, May 8th, 2024, and National Nurses Week, May 6th through the 12th, 2024. Whereas a School Nurse Day was established to foster a better understanding of the role of nurses in the educational setting and is celebrated annually on the Wednesday within National Nurses Week. And whereas the American Nurses Association has selected the theme Nurses Make the Difference in 2024 to honor the varying roles of nurses and their positive impact on student lives. And now, therefore, be it resolved, the governing board of the Mount Diablo Unified School District hereby recognizes May 8th, 2024 as School Nurse Day and the week of May 6th through the 12th, 2024 as National Nurses Week. It is now in the hands of the board.
I move that we approve Resolution 2324 67. Wow. In recognition of School Nurses Day and National Nurses Week.
Second. Motion from trustee Nzewi and a second from trustee Cowan. Trustee Barrios, how do you vote?
Yes.
That motion passes 5-0. So we move on to 11.1, review and potential approval of certificated personnel appointment director, multilingual education. And Mr. Sheehy is speaking on this item. Thank you.
The Human Resources Department is bringing for the board's review and potential approval the appointment of Catherine Fireman as Director, Multilingual Education. Catherine has spent over 25 years working with predominantly multilingual students and families. She began as a teacher in East Palo Alto and continued her teacher career in dual language classrooms in Chula Vista before returning home to the Bay Area to work at the Oakland schools as a teacher, literacy, and ELD coach and administrator. Catherine joined MDUSD as a vice principal of Meadow Homes Elementary School before becoming the proud principal of the Roadrunners. 3 years ago, Catherine joined the Multilingual Education Department as the assistant director. Catherine holds a bachelor's degree in psychology and Spanish and a master's degree in early childhood literacy. When she has free time, Catherine can be found walking or hiking in nature or on the sideline of a soccer game, watching any one of her kids who play competitive soccer or spending time with friends and family. With that, I leave this appointment in the hands of the board.
Madam President, I move to approve Catherine Fireman as Director, Multilingual Education.
Second.
It's a motion for trustee Cowan and a second from trustee Mayo. Trustee Barrios, how do you vote?
Yes.
Congratulations, Ms. Fireman.
Thank you. Good evening. I was going to say Dr. Clark and esteemed trustees, but I guess he's not here. So I'll just say I really appreciate this wonderful opportunity. I'm super excited to continue the work that we're doing in the multilingual department. I'm very passionate about serving our multilingual students and their families. And I also wanted to take this opportunity to thank Carmen Garces, who is our outgoing director, who has shared her wisdom and has trusted me to work alongside of her. And I'm really excited to move our work forward and continue all that we're working on. So thank you so much for your trust and confidence. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, so I was able to wrangle my husband, 2 of my 3 soccer players here. I have my oldest child, Aaliyah, and my son, Benjamin, and our youngest child, Sage, is at soccer tryouts right now for her team, so we couldn't let her miss that, and my husband Hugo. And a lot of our EL, or now multilingual department is here as well, so thank you very much.
Ms. Mayana, are you presenting the next item? Okay, great. So review and potential approval of certificated personnel appointment vice principal at College Park High School.
Good evening, trustees. The Human Resources Department is bringing for the board's review and potential approval the appointment of Stephanie Marple as vice principal at College Park High School. Stephanie left the private sector in 2014 to pursue a career in education. She has taught several CTE courses in high school and has been an assistant principal at an elementary school in the area. Stephanie holds a bachelor's degree in English and a master's degree in early childhood education. Stephanie is half Seychellois and half American, went to 3 high schools in 3 countries before eventually returning and settling in California. In her spare time, Stephanie enjoys cooking, baking, reading, traveling, spending time with her husband, who's a high school teacher, their 4 kids, and all the various pets they share a home with. With that, I leave this appointment in the hands of the board.
Madam President, I move the board approve that Stephanie Marple as the vice principal at College Park High School.
Second. Motion by trustee Mayo and a second by trustee Count. Trustee Barrios, how do you vote?
Yes.
Thank you for the opportunity. I'm really excited to get back to high school from elementary, go back to my roots. I just wanted to say thank you to my best friend who has spent her Wednesday evening at a school board meeting and supporting me, and then also my husband as well for supporting on my admin journey. And but somebody had to be home with the kids, so thank you.
All right, so Ms. Bayana, you're also presenting about another review and potential approval of certificated personnel appointment vice principal at College Park.
Yes, thank you. Good evening again, trustees and Dr. Clark. The Human Resources Department is bringing for the board's review and potential approval for the appointment of Neil Finch as vice principal at College Park High School. This is Neil's 15th year in education, where he has taught high school English and been serving the 3 different high schools and been a dean of students. Neil has also been blessed as coaching and has a depth in high school coaching, and he enjoys developing student athletes into incredible young adults. Neil holds a bachelor's degree in communication and a master's degree in coaching and administration. Neil comes to us, or is coming to us, from Colorado, and will be relocating with his wife and 3 children. They are blessed with their children, and they spend their time away from work coaching and his children's sports teams and traveling the world with his wife when they can get away. And with that, I leave the appointment in the hands of the board.
Madam President, I would move that the board approve the appointment of Neil Finch as vice principal at College Park High School.
I'll second that.
Motion from trustee Mayo and a second from trustee Mason. Trustee Barrios, how do you vote?
Yes.
So he's via Zoom.
Okay, fair enough. Okay. So we move on to board member reports. And I am pretty sure that I started with trustee Mason last time. So did I? I believe you. I believe you. I'll take your word for it. Let's see. Trustee Barrios, do you have a report tonight? Okay, would you like to go first? Yes. Okay, you are a good sport. Thank you.
So I went to the ODA. Well, I mean, I was there at school at Ignacia Valley, the Cinco de Mayo celebration, which was so much fun. Oh my gosh. It was so cool because they had the I don't know what it's called, even though it's my culture, I don't know what it's called. It's when they were dancing with their dresses. And it was so cool watching them. Like the grown-ups were so good. And then watching the itty bitty kids dance too was so cute. And it makes me happy that like we're able to come into a community and like celebrate something, even though like none of us like really, really celebrate it, but it's a fun time to dance and eat. Um, also, the new desks at school, the new desk and chairs, way better than the old ones. The old ones literally hurt your back. These ones, no back pain. I'm pretty sure a lot of people like them too, because instead of like being in our individual desks, we're able to like come together in groups and actually like talk to each other about stuff or like work together on our schoolwork. Um, and that's pretty much it. Hmm?
Trustee Count?
All right, I have a very short board report because I started a new day job. So I've been very busy with that. I am now a field representative for our Assembly member, Rebecca Bauer Cahan. So that's very exciting and fun. If you have any recommendations for the state that you would like me to convey, happy to do so. But so that has made it harder for me to attend some of our daytime school district events, but I did make it to the Ignacia Valley High School celebration run by the student leaders from One Day at a Time. And I agree with you. It was very, very impressive. I'm hoping it's the first annual. of these events at Ignacio Valley High. It was just contagious. The joy, the participation, the dancing, everybody was really into it. So that was really beautiful. And then last night I got to attend the Northgate Jazz performance at Yoshi's in Oakland, which was just it takes my breath away. Just an incredible performance. If you missed it, there's another one in 1 week. Next Tuesday night, Concord High Jazz Band is performing at Yoshi's. So very exciting. And then aside from that, just a couple quick opportunities. One is I was invited to the advisory board of this. This is the Truro University Health Careers Opportunity Program. So wanted to be able to share this out with everybody. And it's a grant initiative aimed at assisting students from educationally and economically disadvantaged backgrounds to enter and successfully complete health profession schools. So they offer professional shadowing, community projects, community engagement, and they have high school summer healthcare programs. They have an ambassador program that high school students can be a part of and earn a stipend of up to $1,200. So there's some really great opportunities here. So check out, let's see, it's at tu.edu/programs/health careers. So we can share that out. I know it's also being shared out, I think, from Heather Fontanilla and our career pathways. So just wanted to expand on that. And then lastly, coming up very soon here for the month of June for Pride is our annual Clayton Pride Parade. And so I'm organizing a school board members from across the county to walk together again. You all are welcome as our students and families to be able to walk with us in the Clayton Pride Parade on June 2nd. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.
Trustee Nzewi.
Briefly, congratulations. That's a really cool, I've had that job before. It's very hard. First, I want to thank this third grade students fourth grade students, that would be offensive if it were, the fourth grade students at Meadow Homes for whom I got to be a career guest. It wasn't a career day because they're doing it weekly, so I assume like many people go last week. And I talked about what it's like to be an advocate and showed them that they are all very skilled lobbyists as they convince their parents and teachers to let them play video games or to buy them the best new pair of shoes or things like that. And that's how you begin to learn how to stand up for yourself, or if you choose a career in it, standing up for other people. But they asked really fun and thoughtful questions, and I just really appreciated the opportunity to be. It was 2 classrooms at once. That honestly was a little overwhelming because that was a lot of young children. But they did really well for I'm not sure how many minutes I was in there, but for the classroom period that I was in there. I could not attend the one day at a time student-led, I know, student-led Cinco de Mayo celebration, but I really loved seeing all of the photographic evidence of it and the story written. And I think it's just how far we've come as a community in having a student-led event, a student-planned event, celebrating a culture at school and engaging all the students. And so I just seeing it, it's literally beautiful, but it's a beautiful thing to have occurred in our district that may or may not have occurred so many years ago. So I'm also very glad that students felt safe to do something like that. So I feel like I had a third thing, but that's all right. I don't, because I can't remember. Thank you for listening.
Trustee Mayo.
Thank you. On April 29th, Mrs. McFerrin and I attended the Measure J meeting, and we will hear more about the results of that meeting at a subsequent school board meeting. On May 1st, I attended the SELPA Special Education Lobby Day in Sacramento. The members of the CAC committee were Dorothy Weisenberger, Janine Payne, and Lisa Buffum. And then Dr. Aguili and Melody Royale accompanied us as well. We spoke with the aides of 3 representatives and left materials at 3 other offices in the afternoon. The morning begins with a conference session and speakers and information and recognitions of individuals who have contributed greatly within the sphere of special education. And our particular CAC always goes above and beyond, and they addressed and identified 10 bills that they wanted to lobby our representatives with. And so I will share, I won't go through all of the bills, but I will pass this around and you can look at them if you would care to have a glance at them. On May 2nd, we went to the Career Pathway Project Showcase, which was hosted by John Muir Hospital and the Greater Concord Chamber of Commerce. And there we observed all of the student projects from the various high schools. Some of the students were excellent speakers about their projects. They were very self-confident, and the projects were very detailed and very impressive, regardless of what the subject was. On May 2nd, the evening, I went to the Pleasant Hill Community Foundation reception. This foundation is long-standing in the city of Pleasant Hill, and they fund many school activities and programs benefiting students throughout Pleasant Hill. The fund allocations for this last year included inclusive books for our elementary school libraries, and they provided funds for 5th grade camp experience for students from Gregory Gardens. So we'll hear news about their awardees for this coming year soon. On May 7th, which was last night, I attended the Special Education CAC Family Night, and it was an outstanding event. The CAC and the special education staff provided, I think there were 14 tables of games for students to complete projects at. There was food provided, families came, they picked up the projects and either worked at on the projects at the tables, or they took them to the tables set up in the multi-use room at Monty Gardens and worked as a family on the projects there. It was very heartwarming to witness, and I want to thank both CAC and the Special Education Department for providing those opportunities for our family. And I just want to make a couple of announcements. On May 11th, the Mount Diablo Education Foundation is holding a bocce ball tournament at 9:30 to 5 o'clock at the Ibsen Family Bocce Courts in Clayton. So I suggest you come out and enjoy the sun and have some fun. You can watch 16 teams compete, enjoy a lunch, and purchase raffle tickets to support the numerous programs that Mount Diablo Education Foundation funds. And if you'd like to view the raffle baskets and their contents, visit www.mdedf.org events/events. And the final announcement for the trustees, on May 20th, Contra Costa County School Boards Association will be holding a meeting. It will include the election of officers. Our CSBA director for Region 7, Rachel Hurd, will be speaking, as well as our PACER, Claudia Lopez Lupercero, and there will be trustee recognitions as well. The meeting will be hybrid, but you're encouraged to attend in person at the County Office of Education at 6 p.m. Because refreshments will be served. So watch for an email soon. Thank you.
Trustee Mason.
Okay, I too went to the Cinco de Mayo event. It was very, very fun. The kids were all engaged, having a good time. I also went to the career showcase at John Muir Hospital. In addition, I went to Rio Vista elementary school was having a multicultural fair on, I believe it was Thursday of last week. And families were very engaged. The after school program was included, and the kids all were having a great time. I went to Sun Valley Mall last night for the student art showcase that they do every year now. And the important thing about all those is, number one, I really enjoy going to them, but the important thing is at every single one of them, our students shined. They're on point, they're happy, they share what they're doing, they're proud of what they're doing. And this is really my favorite time of year, because with all these events and the graduations, I know we're doing the right thing because our kids are so amazing. So that's my report.
All right, and I'm going to start just by wishing everyone a happy Teacher Appreciation Week and happy Day of the Teacher. And I do want to say I appreciate all of our teachers, of course, and I know that teachers work incredibly hard, you know, and I share that experience, of course. And I do want to share that my FOMO really sparks up this time of year. We had a speaker earlier about who's at Northgate and mentioned the senior project. We have a senior project at Las Lomas as well. And so my days are filled with lessons for my sexual health unit and presentation. So it's a very hard time for me to get to some of these events, but it's really wonderful to be able to receive so many updates on them. So the things that I have been able to go to, which have been really good experiences, are that, sorry, lost my notes. So I visited Mount Diablo Elementary School on Wednesday, April 24th, and I was able to spend some time in a kindergarten class there. And that was quite an experience. They had some chicks that had just hatched out of eggs. They were growing caterpillars. They were in chrysalises. They are learning about the life cycle there. And they're also growing ladybugs. Some of these items are for the garden. And I got to read a couple stories to the students. And I was I asked the teacher, I said, was this kind of a different class in August and September? Because those kids were so focused, and it was such a well-run classroom, and I'm just really impressed anytime I visit a teacher's classroom. And I was also able to join them on their library visit, and it was wonderful to kind of see just kind of what that looked like as well. So that was like a major, major highlight. And then I also was able to last night attend the adult ed commencement ceremony for the medical assistance program. And I really appreciated some of the comments there about how the program serves the community. You know, and I incredible appreciation, you know, for people who serve us in the medical community, and then for everything that school does to support the community. And so that was a really, really beautiful event. And then I was also able to attend the spring fling. And I was pretty sure that we didn't have it last year, but it was so well run that I asked. I said, have we done this before? Has the CAC done it before? And no, they're just a very, very well organized team who is able to accomplish a lot. And with support of the district staff. So we just really appreciated how many people were there, and how many great opportunities there were for families to spend time together and connect and do some creative things. So I really appreciated kind of everything I was able to attend recently. And so that's all I have to share this evening.
So I'll be brief tonight. First of all, I want to recognize today as being Day of the Teacher. And also just this whole week, it's been National Teacher Appreciation Week, and I've been seeing just the post of all the celebrations that are happening for our teachers. And I know that we have great parents and students who really appreciate the work that our teachers are doing each and every day. The year is quickly coming to an end, and I know with these end of the year activities that our calendars can be swamped and whatnot. And I know in the classrooms, teachers are finishing up the year. I had a great conversation with a kindergarten teacher this morning who was putting together the kindergarten books, and she allowed me to flip through one of them and just to see the growth of 1 year, and to see all the activities and all the things that took place this year were very inspiring. With that, I want to congratulate Linda Ortega on her position. And Linda's words really do mirror my words, and I think we have the same goal, that we really want to make sure that our students have the very best environment. And in order for that to happen, us adults have to work together. And so I appreciate the relationship that Linda and I have. She knows that I have an open door policy, and hopefully that we can continue to work together to support everyone within the district, so that we can continue to support our students. So congratulations, Ms. Ortega. Lastly, can you hand me that little thing down there? I want to recognize a young woman who's very special, and that is our student board member, Susanna Barrios. She, we started, my first year here 4 years ago was when we first started bringing on a student board member, and it really has added a voice that had been, that I assume in my previous district we did not have a student board member, but it really provides a voice that we don't often get in these meetings. Our board meetings, we're here to approve contracts, we're here to do the business of the district, and really the business of the district should always be focused on our students. And I've appreciated what you bring. I appreciate your 100% honesty with what you're going through, just in navigating our school system, and really what it takes to get through a senior year. I know that you are sad that the year is coming to an end, but we appreciate you on the board. I've appreciated our conversations. I know Laura has really appreciates the time that she gets to spend with you as well. And it's a big commitment, right, to come here every other Wednesday night and to sit through these meetings when you could be doing other things. And so we have a little token here for you. First of all, we have a certificate for you for your time on the board, but I do have a special little gift for you that I'd like you to open and show everybody. And yeah, Robert, no, I'm gonna bring it over to you. You stay there. I'm gonna bring it over to you. And I just want to again reiterate in public on the record that I will write you a letter of recommendation for the next 10 years. Okay. So as you go to college, as you look for graduate school or whatever it is that you do, I will always be someone who you can call on to provide support and assistance in whatever endeavor that you take. I've really appreciated getting to know you over this last year. Oh, nice. Madam President, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Clark. All right, so we move on to the consent agenda, but it looks like we maybe have public comment first. Thank you. Oh, is this? Okay, yeah. All right, so if anyone wasn't here earlier, we generally allow about 3 minutes for each public comment, and we have 4, and so we think we can do the full 3 minutes, no problem. Our first speaker is Jane Smith. Hello, I never stay this long at board meetings and I really enjoyed it. So thank you. You made me laugh and clap and be part of the community here at Mount Diablo. So thank you. I have with me and my staff, and we were kind of smiling back there because we thought we were coming on at 6. But you know what? Look at these girls, how patient they've been. Our principal, Mrs. Stevens, watching on camera, and she goes, "Those girls are so patient." So they're getting an award tomorrow. Anyway, I have a little speech. It's not going to take 3 minutes. I'm Jane Smith. I've been teaching in the district for 36 years, and I've taught all grades, kindergarten, first grade, second grade, combo classes, or whatever. And I consider myself an expert teacher and good at classroom management and organization. And I'm full on with technology, Promethean boards, Google, everything. So I'm really good with technology. But that being said, thank you for all the remodeling at Rio Vista. We really needed it. It was desperate. Dry rot, wood rot, everything. Anyway, so thank you. But what's really concerning us is the furniture that's going to be purchased. We wanted to try to alert you, help you save money. Look at the furniture. Is it going to last 40 years? Will she be a grandmother and it's still going to be around? I mean, that's what we're looking at, right? Furniture that's going to last a while. And when we've been looking at the furniture, we have lots of concerns because the storage for the desks is flimsy. It's plastic. It's weak. It's not going to really hold those books all those years, all the time that the little drawer is being open and closed. When you think about it, how many times is that going to be open and closed throughout the school day? Probably 100, no, maybe 50. But, over and over, it's going to wear down. So we wanted you to be aware, look at the furniture before you put the money in there, you purchase it, and say, is this really what we want for our schools? So thank you. Oh, and we have a wobble stool to have the students here demonstrate what that might look like in a classroom.
Feel free if the board member wants to try it out.
It's really good for the core, but I'm not sure 8 hours for a little person what that's going to feel like.
First graders.
What's that? Well, sometimes it feels like that. 6.5. Yeah. Okay, so this is the wobble stool.
So are you saying that this is the only seating option that is being provided?
Each classroom is going to, this is our understanding that each classroom is going to get probably like 15 of these and then 15 of the rolly chairs so that it can be interchangeable with the little rolly desks too. And here, again, you saw earlier, so this is breaking. This is like a plastic computer. It's breaking. But this is some of the stuff I pulled out of it. Get board adopted. All we're really here today is thank you, but we said and the safety. And yay, girls. Okay. Thank you for your comment. Diana Zimmer.
Hi. Last but not least. So, hello, my name is Diana Zimmer. I'm a librarian at Mount Diablo Elementary. And yes, you were in my library. You recognized me and you spent time with me. It was kind of an honor that I saw you down the hall and I got to meet you, and I'm very open door. So it kind of made my day. I'm like, that's so amazing. You could come in the space and see it. So that was nice. Anyway, I am a librarian at Mount Diablo Elementary and Woodside Elementary. I have been with our school district since 1999. I taught third grade for many years and I've been a librarian for nine years. I'm here today to share some concerns about the modernization project that's starting in June at Mount Diablo Elementary. First, we're actually really happy to be having this. So the sentiment you're hearing people from is not a discontent. We're very happy to hear that we were chosen for this much needed upgrade. The school is literally falling apart. But we want to share with you just some transparency and communication problems that are falling apart, really falling apart. I have 3 main concerns I want to share. These issues become very concerning at a meeting that we had at Mount Diablo Elementary on March 27th, attended by the Director of Maintenance and Operations, the the elementary dent center administrator and the furniture company chosen to purchase the new furniture. And just as a caveat, it's my understanding much of it's already been purchased as in a warehouse. And I don't know if that's true. That's what I've heard. I don't know if it's true, though. One of the philosophies I would just want to mention is this philosophy of front the classroom. In the March 27th meeting, a representative from the furniture company who said that she was a middle school teacher presented that the new model basically for the MD USD was that students should be standing and moving around the room 90% of their day. She stated that our students should only be sitting about 10% of the day, while our teachers utilize movement, exploration, collaboration on a daily basis. I can tell you that students are embracing these new math groupings that they're doing, the whiteboard math. I see it as I go around. Teachers are embracing movement and collaboration with students. But I was shocked to hear that this new furniture of this design, it has proven to be a mix of desks and desk types potentially. It is also proven that there's no one set of class seating. As you just said, it's half wobbly, half chairs, and maybe something else. But it appears to be on the schematics we've been giving that students should have a choice if they want to sit in a wobbly or if they want to sit in another form of a chair. And so I'm just curious, is the district and the board, is this a model that's being required now? This massive defront the classroom? Are you asking students to be standing and moving around 90% of the day? And if not, then maybe the furniture company should not be presenting that and really like setting us off. Finally, it's important to remember when we talk about collaboration and this form of teaching that the CASP, the iReady, Accelerated Reader, to name a few other things, is not group work. Our students need to demonstrate some independence. Absolutely. And many of our students thrive in a calmer environment. So while the circle concept
please wrap up.
Sorry, is important, maybe not for all students. I want to skip.
That's time. That's overtime.
Is I really speaking that long?
Yes, we have a timer.
I'll send an email.
Thank you. And thank you for your comment. Kim Keogh.
Hello. Sorry. My name is Kim Keogh, and I've been a teacher in MDUSD for 24 years. I'm a fifth grade teacher at Mount Diablo Elementary. I'm here to express my extreme concern over what is happening with the classroom modernizations. There's been a lack of respect and communication when it comes to working with the teachers and the staff that are affected. When Melanie Coslow attended one of our staff meetings via Zoom, she made it sound like the changes would mainly be to flooring, windows, and the HVAC systems. There was a bit of talk about new furniture, but she distinctly told us that we would have some say in the furniture, which was our biggest concern. We were supposed to hear from her in a timely manner. That did not happen, and the next thing we knew, the furniture had been ordered with no input from us. When she finally came to another staff meeting and I asked her about this, her excuse was that she had too much to do and dropped the ball, so she had to order the furniture in a hurry. The selected furniture is bad enough, but now it sounds like the classrooms are basically going to be gutted and remodeled with very little storage. What storage is being shown in the plan does not even begin to fit the needs of a typical classroom. A classroom should be a warm and inviting place for students, staff, and parents. The plans that we have seen show cold and sterile environments. In addition, the appearance of the furniture and storage looks cheap and flimsy. The desks have a drawer with about the same dimensions as a shoebox, and there are no bookshelves. The storage seems to be mainly drawers. Not only are their desks filled with folders, notebooks, workbooks, and some supplies, but the bookshelves contain the rest of their textbooks, supply boxes, a classroom library, and other materials that they need to access to, like dividers, whiteboards, and mice for their Chromebooks. The top of the low bookshelves also provide space for kids to display projects, for Kleenex and hand sanitizer to be placed around the room, get their instruments up off the floor, paintings to dry, and for kids to stand and work together. In addition, looking at the dimensions on the plan, the storage space stations, as they're called, appear to be over 6 feet tall, which is a foot taller than I am, as well as most of the kids. So how am I supposed to use drawers that high up? And the teacher desk appears to be too tiny and useless for my needs. I need a table that I can work with space for materials while I grade papers, plan curriculum, make examples of projects, etc. It also needs to be a space where I can work with kids one-on-one. These are just some of the considerations that should have been taken into account. I just cannot understand how anyone could have approved many of the changes happening without having consulted with classroom teachers, music teachers, librarians, office staff, and everyone else that will actually have to work in such a space. I hope that since things are just getting started, that it is not too late to make the corrections needed so that we can have a functioning and welcoming space for many years to come. Thank you.
Thank you. Angelita Gonzalez.
Good evening, board. My name is Angelita Gonzalez, and I'm a teacher at Rio Vista Elementary, as well as a parent of a student attending Rio and an upcoming student attending Rio. I'm both grateful that our school was chosen for this remodel, and I'm also feeling a lot of confusion, uncertainty, and concern, in particularly with the classroom furniture that has been chosen for our school's remodel. As a school, our staff is concerned with the lack of storage, lack of sturdiness, and safety of the student desks and chairs that were chosen. As teachers, we want the best for our students, and although this may not seem like a big deal, this classroom furniture is going to be a long-term investment for our school and our students, and we feel that teacher input is critical on making the best decision on what would be the most functional option for our students. We would like to see more functionality options, and we would like to give our input before these big decisions are going to be made. Thank you.
Thank you. So that should conclude our public comment on the consent agenda. I'm just going to read this explanation. Items under the consent agenda are considered routine. It will be approved, adopted in a single motion. And there's no separate discussion of these items. However, any item may be removed from the consent agenda upon the request of any member of the board and acted upon separately. So I can either take a motion to approve the agenda or any other motion.
Madam President, I would like to pull 14.22 for discussion.
Okay. Is that a, yeah, so do we have a,
yeah, moved?
for that?
So I move to approve the consent agenda, except for item 14.22 pulled for discussion.
Second.
Okay, that's a motion from Trustee Count and a second from Trustee Mayo. Trustee Barrios, how do you vote?
Yes.
That motion passes 5-0 with concurrence from our student board member. So then 14.12 should become.
So I pulled item 14.22.
15.1. Okay.
was waiting for it to come up. So I just pulled this item because it appears that there's some confusion about the timeline of what's being bought when and whether. So my question is, this item 15.1 talks about items being bought primarily for the office, and that other furniture is going to be in phase 2, but this is phase 1. So I'd just like some clarity about where we are exactly on the furniture purchasing, what has already been purchased, what's included here, and then what's to come.
Kozlo is going to address your questions.
Good evening, Dr. Clark and board members. Just as a quick sort of reminder, we did bring forward a few board meetings ago the majority of the package for phase 1. This item being presented tonight is to add the office furniture for 2 of our campuses, as well as we're working with site administration at, I believe it's Meadow Homes, where we're going to be bringing forward a classroom in a space that had alternate furniture being ordered originally. So that furniture will be stored, moved to phase 2, but we do need that classroom furniture for this coming next school year. This is just in addition to what we already ordered for phase 1. And then yes, in the future, we will be bringing forward phase 2 furniture package.
Thank you.
So this is about the office furniture. Tonight's, so half furniture already been purchased.
Correct. We did
for all the sites.
For the 3
Rio
school
Vista,
sites
Meadow Homes,
for phase 1.
Okay.
A combination of some classroom furniture as well as some alternative space furniture. Correct.
And was there any conversation with staff about the furniture that was being purchased?
We did have conversation. Our plan was to get a bit more school site staff involvement. Unfortunately, because of the timelines that we were being told in order to be prepared for staff returning late July, early August ahead of the school year, we did make some decisions to bring forward a recommendation ahead of the engagement that I had initially intended to have with school site staff.
Okay. And I'm assuming principals were involved in those discussions?
They were, but also probably to the same extent that teachers were. We had to make some tough decisions in order to hit the timelines. And so I do realize that that's upset some folks because we did intend to have more engagement.
Thank you.
No problem.
So moving forward, my understanding is that we're starting with these 3 sites for modernization, and the intention is that we would then learn from this as well and use these as models for ongoing modernization.
Correct. That would be our goal.
So if we discover that there are aspects of the furniture that are not going to last, will we look into alternative options of furniture going forward beyond this?
Absolutely. We have not done entire school site furniture purchases like this in quite a while. We do see some onesie, twosie, even, full building purchases at some of our high school levels. We know we just heard about that at YV. And so the answer is part of our package with our distributor is to come back and be following the furniture as we implement it, as students use it, as teachers use it, and get that feedback so that my department can bring forward recommendations should we be able to continue elementary modernization.
And then with the Meteor education furniture, like what some of which was shown to us tonight, is there any sort of warranty on these items so that if it breaks that quickly, it would actually be replaced by Meteor education?
And I do believe that one of the pieces was the actual drawer out of a sample that we had delivered. Some of the other items that I saw were not familiar to me, so I think it was maybe just some current totes that they use, but I'm just making a little bit of assumption. We were able to deliver a student desk to each of the 3 school sites just so that teachers could touch and feel, but they haven't, we don't have examples of everything that will be in the classrooms yet.
Okay. Thank you.
And I just wanted to remind the board that that school furniture has changed over the years, and I know that change is extremely difficult at times. If you go into some of our elementary classrooms now, you will see the wobbly seats like what we're shown tonight. You will see the medicine balls as seats, and as I Google what the modern elementary classroom looks like, that's what they look like now. Movable furniture, movable desks. The days of clunky desks in rows in classrooms or in groups that never move. Those are furniture from the past. So we are looking to outfit our schools with the latest and greatest. And I understand as we as we move into the future, that sometimes those conversations are difficult, right? Laptops, every kid has a Chromebook. The lifespan of a Chromebook is not 10 years, right? We understand that. The lifespan of this furniture that we're buying now is not going to be like the desks that I sat in back in the 80s, which we still have at some of our high poverty schools. And so we are looking to put the latest and greatest in our classrooms, and our students have changed over the years. And again, when I walk around classrooms, I do see some of this furniture in some of our schools that have access to additional funds. So they're going out and purchasing this at some of those schools. So I totally understand about the importance of being comfortable with what with what you've always done and things like that, and the sturdiness. But we are looking to evolve, and I know that sometimes that is difficult. We do have an MOU with Medea on this, on what our process is, and on the moving of teachers and the remodeling of these classrooms. So if a brand new school was built today, they would be outfitted with this furniture. And so that's what we're just trying to provide our students with the latest and best. And yeah, and it's going to take some adjusting, and it's going to take some getting used to. And yeah, we do have bulky textbooks. We do have Chromebooks for every student, and we just have to evolve. But I completely hear the individuals who spoke tonight, and I understand their hesitation. But I would rather side on giving our students the best that's out there, and then letting our students kind of say how they feel about it as we go forward.
Thank you. Yeah, I think what I'm hearing is that it seems like people are seeking more information, more communication about this as it moves forward. And I think that's the intention of staff as well. So I appreciate that. And that any one of these seating options would not be the only option for all students, like in the classrooms that have wobble chairs. That's, in my mind, an option for students who need that, who that is helpful for. I don't see the wobble chairs as being something that would be every student in a whole classroom. I haven't seen that. So, okay.
And they're not now. If you go into a classroom now, if you go into some of our schools, you'll see 4 or 5 kids sitting on them. And like I said, you'll see kids sitting on the balls, on the inflatable balls and whatnot. And it's just different. I had one of the wobble chairs in my office for 3 years and sat in it often. And so anyway, I'm familiar with it. I've also purchased this furniture before and used it, but like the furniture that we buy nowadays is not going to last 35 years, and most things don't. Our homes don't even last that long anymore. But I do understand the concern of some of our educators, but I think as we get into it and we assess the situation, we have 55 schools and we're only looking at doing 3 schools right now. We have a lot of time to get this right. And I do understand we can always do a better job at communicating and getting input. But at some point, we do have to move forward in order to keep our timelines. We only have a small window in summer to get this work done, and it's going to be tight as it is. And so sometimes, you know, you have to move forward with these things.
I do have one question. Are the rooms going to be hard surfaced or will they be carpeted throughout? I don't remember. I apologize.
That's okay. So we will be having LVT, which is sort of like an upgrade of its luxury vinyl tile. And then each classroom will have a rug that can be replaced when it wears out, but we're not doing full classrooms of carpet like we've seen, you know, in the older styles. Correct.
Okay. All right.
Is that like the flooring in the updated cafeteria at Valley View?
It is.
It's very nice. It's very nice. Trustee Mayo has seen it as well.
It also does not require as much summer clean, which allows our custodial staff to focus that time elsewhere instead of stripping that wax like we have done for years and years. So it'll take a while to get throughout the district, but we're also looking sort of at the operations piece.
I move that we approve the additional furniture purchase and installation for elementary modernization phase 1 projects at Meadow Homes, Mount Diablo, and Rio Vista Elementary Schools per Omnia contract number R191810.
I'll second that.
Motion from Trustee Nzewi and a second by Trustee Mason. Trustee Barrios, how do you vote?
Yes, and I also want to say that I'm jealous because they're getting this, and I don't want to sound old, but back in my day, like you would get no chance to move in class. Like it's just sitting, sitting, sitting. And if you have your hair down, the chair would literally rip your hair out. Or if you wanted to move, you would lean your chair back and potentially crack your head open. So I think this is a good opportunity for kids who have like a lot of energy and like don't have the time after school to like release that or if recess isn't enough. So I think this is a good opportunity to see how it could like the outcomes and we can based on what we find out from our students and teachers' feedback, we can still improve on this. Mm-hmm.
Thank you for the student perspective, as always. Okay, so that motion passes 5-0 with concurrence from our student board member. So, all right. So we move on to our business action items, starting with, oh, this is really exciting, 17.1, review and potential approval of the adoption of secondary English language development and academic language development materials. So, okay. All right, great. So we have Ms. Fireman, Ms. Garces. Okay. And okay. Ms. Samoa. Okay, yeah.
Yes. Dr. Clark, esteemed board members, it's our pleasure to come here today to talk to you about the new materials for English language development and academic language development that we have been reviewing all through the year with the teachers. And finally, they have come to a decision. Depending on the time, how many years the student has in the system, they can take English language development. Usually those are for students that are between years 1 and 5. And after that, we consider them long-term English learners, but we continue providing supports, but use different materials. So where a prospective adoption presents 2 different types of materials for different profiles of students. And I want to thank that team that has worked with us in this adoption, and especially the teachers that gave their time to participate
and pilot the materials. I want to let you know that the ALD pilot was run concurrent to the ELA pilot. So we have some English teachers that might teach a period of ELD. So we have some teachers that they were actually in the ELA and in the ELD pilot. So we are very, very thankful for their participation. We could have not done with them. So the team is going to present.
Okay, we go to the, oh, sorry, we have a clicker. I'm thinking somebody's going to click for us. I'm so sorry. Okay. So I'm gonna, I believe that everybody's seen these slides, but we just kind of wanted to quickly let the public and you all know our selection process. So surveys were sent out, staff collected adoption materials from neighboring districts. We wanted to know what our neighbors are using, and specifically, we wanted to look at what neighboring districts with high levels of multilingual learners, because some of our neighboring districts don't have the numbers that we have. We created the teachers could, we offered for everybody to opt in. We reached out, and like Carmen was just saying, many of our teachers, almost all of our teachers, you have to have an English degree to teach ELD, or a credential, I should say. And so we were competing with ELA. There were a few brave souls who did both, but so some of our beloved teachers also needed to do ELA. We had an internal team review our survey responses. The publishers presented the materials on days we were pulling our teachers off, and which required a lot of work on their and to have sub plans and make sure that their students are still learning in their classrooms. We had a public review of materials at Willow Creek. So our public, our parents, our teachers were able to view all of those materials. Okay. And Katrina is our secondary ELTOSA.
Hi, my name is Katrina Mendez-Omoa. So I helped with this process as well. And this is basically our timeline. And we started with, we wanted a robust team of teachers to help us make these decisions all the way through. The physical materials review was great because we had one in October, and I felt like we kind of had a bonus one in February where we were able to put out the materials again for public viewing, just getting a little bit more communication with family and anybody else who wanted to come look at the materials. We also had 2 pilot windows. Each one, each publisher was able to come present to our teachers. And then after that, we provided teachers with planning time where they can really dig into their curriculum and figure out what they wanted to teach from these materials that they were just presented. And then they were given their time to pilot. We asked for their feedback afterwards, after each pilot. And then our final decision was made for English language development on March 4th with a group of teachers after school. And then for academic language development, that group of teachers met as well. And that was done on March 25th. And continuing on, these are our groups of teachers. These are some of the teachers that are really rock stars because they not only piloted, some of them, English language development, they also, as Catherine said, piloted the English class, and then some of them piled the ALD and ELD. So a lot of them were doing kind of double duty with piloting. So that was really amazing to see the hard work they put in with that. And we have a smaller amount of teachers in our district. So that's actually 33% of our teachers that participated in our adoption materials. Thank you. And I'm continuing on.
Okay, so this is how we went through our decision-making process. These were, kind of the areas that we wanted our teachers to look at. So whether these materials had literacy support, that's a big thing that we look at with our multilingual learners. One of our areas that we know that our students, when they kind of unfortunately maybe get stuck in our ALD classes and can't reclassify out, oftentimes it's due to the literacy. So this was a big piece that we really wanted our teachers to look at and try with their students and compare the products. Was the program easy and accessible? We wanted to make sure that assessment was strong because we want to make sure that our students are making progress, and how are we monitoring that and measuring that? A big piece that we need that data in order to help our students make gains. Obviously that there were going to be instructional supports for our multilingual learners, and that the planning and teacher support was strong. And our teachers were in a lot of contact with the publishers anytime questions came up, because a lot of this is also digital. Then we wanted to make sure that there was cultural responsiveness, so that all of our multilingual, a lot of times there's the assumption, oh, Spanish speakers, or they're all from Mexico or whatever, but we have multilingual learners from all different languages, all different countries and cultures, and many, many Spanish speaking countries and cultures as well. So that was something that we were looking for. And that the tech integration was going to be as seamless as possible. A lot of times, and we work closely with our TIS department to make sure that our students and teachers had facility with accessing the technology through this. And then we also wanted to make sure that these resources, there was availability for families and support to have at home, because a lot of times, especially for our ELD students, their families are newer to our US system. And so it was important. Actually, a fun little anecdote is that our teachers with the ELD choice that they went to choose from, they asked if there would be Dari and Pashto letters, and they didn't have that before, but they actually created it. So now that's there for the whole world to use if they go with this to higher learning. So it was great to see how open-minded the publishers were and took our feedback from our teachers and built those. So they're already in existence. And for our ALD, what our teachers voted on, there's online access for teachers or sorry, parents and families. It's called the living room, and it's very interactive, and it comes in many, many languages. So families can learn alongside what their students are learning in ELD or ALD in their language. So that was exciting to see. So the results that our ELD teachers, they recommended VISTA, the full name is VISTA Higher Learning, for the middle and high school. There was conversation about, do we want the same program going through the middle school and high school? Many times kids start in middle school and continue this through high school. So we thought that our teachers thought that it was important to have that continuity. And then our academic language development teachers recommended the Hood and Mifflin for their middle school and high school ALD materials. So within the cost, does somebody else want to talk about? You want to talk more?
Okay. The reason why we want the continuity between ELD middle school and high school is because of the placement. Okay, because when the students finish middle school and we are using the same materials, we know where they will fall exactly, and we don't have to worry about that there's mismatch between the programs. So that was important for us. And that this adoption includes the teacher edition, as now everything is print and digital. And then the student edition, that they are going to have the work texts, which are consumables, and they are replaced annually for 8 years. The students also are going to have an online test and a set in the classroom. This is not new for you. And so a robust program, professional development, and we are very excited because they are going to barcode the books and then they will go to the school. And this is the cost of the adoption for 6 to 12 ELD. Is not going to exceed $915,000 and some change. And then 500. Okay. And then the HMA adoption is not going to exceed of $1,065,000. Okay, let's round it. $1,066,000. Well, it's not quite 2 million. We cannot say 2 million because it's not. It's only 1,981,000.
And just to add for the context, we had Amy. This is Amy Fritz. If you don't know her, she's our data. Well, she's an EL support teacher for secondary, but she runs a lot of data for our department. And so we asked her quickly to pull the numbers. So in our secondary schools, just to put context, we have 884 kids who need ELD classes. This is just 6 through 12. And then another 1,757 kids who could be benefiting from academic language development. And then of that total of 2,641, 658 of those students in the ELD classes are newcomers. So they've been here for 3 years or less. So it is a lot of students.
So we leave this item in the hands of the board.
Or are there questions?
I would just like to ask, what are your teachers who piloted this and have made this decision or this recommendation, what are you all most excited about this curriculum coming in and how it will improve things from what you currently have?
I think for me and my students, I polled my students while we were teaching. I wanted their input while I was piloting. They liked the digital and the text together. They liked the option of having both. They liked the diversity. They felt like the readings were current and appropriate for their age, like they were interested in what they were reading in the textbook. So I think just the kids identifying with the book, I think is exciting. Plus just the versatility and how we can assign things, how we can create lessons. The kids can work individually, the kids can work in groups. So there's just a lot of flexibility and possibility within the curriculum.
I'm always excited when I hear that there's a family component to our new curriculum that we're purchasing. So I'm especially pleased with that. I was curious though, are there audio recordings for students to listen to at home as well as for your classroom work?
Yes, they are the readings. Almost any of the new products now, they have that great scaffolding that you can have it read to you. So while you are reading, you know that text will be read in different languages.
Great.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah, and we are very excited about with the connections with the families too.
Thank you.
I just have a quick comment. I just like to say that in 2018, I was hired at Mount Diablo High School to teach all freshmen. That was exciting. And it was 4 classes of freshman English and 1 class of ALD. I was very familiar with those materials, and it was kind of a weird time because it wasn't that long ago, but things have happened, going kind of one-to-one and spending so much more time on technology and kind of these curriculum updates and moving toward kind of improving at helping students see themselves in the curriculum and buying materials that provide for that. And so I'm really, really excited about this. And I was also really excited to see who was on the team because those were all teachers who are just major, major experts in their field and were very supportive to me. And I saw firsthand the impact that they have on students. And so those are people that I really, really trust explicitly to select materials. And I just really appreciate the efforts of everyone involved in this.
We really could have not done it without the teachers. They were so thoughtful on their review of the materials and analyzing each area of the review tool that we had. So I think that it was very successful. And I am very indebted to the teachers that did 2 pilots, that they did language arts and ELD. And then we also have a teacher who participated in the ELD, and it's doing our small Spanish pilot. So very dedicated staff. Thank you.
I would like a motion to approve the adoption of the secondary language development and academic language development materials as presented.
I would like to second that.
Okay, that's a motion from Trustee Mason and a second from Trustee Count. Trustee Barrios, how do you vote?
Yes.
Okay, and that motion passes 5-0.
Thank you very much for your support. Thank you.
You all look so proud. You guys.
Thank you for all your hard work.
In my excitement, I didn't say with concurrence from our student board member. But of course. All right, so we move to 17.2, review of new job description for a transition worker. Is anyone presenting this item, or it's this?
Just here, if you have any questions, then we can address it.
Great. Are there any questions? And if not, we can take a motion. We cannot take a motion because it's for info, but someday we will.
Yeah, it just seems like, just a comment, it seems like a really great opportunity that this has been funded by the U.S. Department of Education. So appreciate that we have that opportunity.
Great. Okay, so we move to 17.3, review of additional courses of study for alternative diploma coursework. Do we have a presentation on this?
Presentation is just info.
I would like to say that I think these courses seem really, really exciting. And I'm having some first-hand experience in teaching some of the content, specifically some related to healthy living courses, healthy living. And I do want to say that I'm finding that a lot of the topics that are there are very high interest topics for students. So I was really, really excited to look over these. And I look forward to seeing them come back. Okay, but if there are no comments, we can move on because that is just for information. All right, so 17.4, review and potential approval of changes to board policies and administrative regulations for California School Board Association recommendations, December 2023 quarterly update. This is also an information item. We have been working on updating our policies for quite some time. Are there any questions or comments about this item? No? Okay. So we move on to 17.5, similar item, review and potential approval of changes to board policies and administrative regulations per California School Board Association recommendations, March 2024, quarterly update. Okay. All right. Seeing no comments. I will adjourn this meeting. Yeah, we love this, Ash. That was a great idea.